Hey y'all, so this is Job part 2, Bible breakdown, chapters 8 through 14, in Jesus Christ's name. So in chapters 8, Bildad began to talk to Job, right? He replied to what Job said in chapter 7. But the way he spoke to him was like he did something. Like his friends started thinking like, you kind of suffering a lot. Like, did you not sin or did you not do something for God to not be pleased with? That's why you're going through what you're going through, right? So he told Job that your beginnings will seem humble, so prosperous your future will be. And he was just going in on Job, right? In chapter 9, though, Job replied instead that he knows everything that Bildad said, but he had such a fear for God that he wasn't going to question, like, what he was going through. He wasn't going to ask God, like, why me? He wasn't going to ask God, like, Job's reverence for Christ did not change, even in the midst of his situation, right? And he said, but how can mere mortals prove their innocence before God? Though they wish to dispute with him, they could not answer him one time out of 1,000. Verse 31, he says, if someone to remove God robbed from me so that his terror would not frighten me no more, then I would speak without fear of him. But as it now stands with me, I cannot. So Job had such a fear for God that he wasn't going to question God about what he was dealing with, right? So in chapters 10, Job wished he wasn't even born. He said, even if he was born, he wished he could have been carried to the grave right after birth. So Job, in all of this, Job still did not say nothing against Christ. He didn't say nothing against God. He didn't say nothing against God. He just continued to suffer. In chapter 11, Zophar replied to Job in a way like he did something to be suffering that much. And he told him, if you put away the sin that is in your hand and allow no evil to dwell in your tent, then free of fault, you will lift your face. You will stand firm and without fear. In chapter 11, Job replied, and he replied to them. He says he has become a laughing stock to his friends, right? They treated him. Okay. So in chapter 13, like Job confessed, like, I desire to speak my case to the Almighty. Like, I desire to tell God how I'm feeling. I desire to tell God, like, Lord, what's wrong? But Job had a fear for Christ. Like, the fear did not stop. Job had an ongoing fear for Christ, even though what he was dealing with kind of like was hard for him, right? And continuation of chapter 13, he calls his physician friends worthless. And he even asked them if they could just be quiet, because it's just like they're relying on him, like just saying stuff about him that's not true, in Jesus Christ's name. So chapters 13 through 14, Job was really trying to get his friends. So from chapters 8 to 14, Job was trying to get his friends to understand God is the Almighty and powerful. Why would he go before him pertaining his suffering? So Job basically was just trying to get them to understand in these 7 chapters, like, y'all keep telling me to go to God and present my case and do an appeal, and because it got to a point where, like, they even compared it to the court, like, if you were to go to court and if you would have got summoned and things of that nature. And Job gave him all types of like examples in Jesus Christ's name. Like, Job broke it down to them. Like, I understand what y'all saying, but I'm not going to question God. Is he not almighty? Is he not powerful? Like, Job did not charge God in no wrongdoing, in Jesus Christ's name. And one thing God showed me, like a revelation God gave me about those chapters was, y'all remember in the beginning, he said Job was upright. He had integrity. Job was a man who feared God and shunned evil. He was blameless. But then as we read in the chapters, his friends are trying to, like, degrade his character. So that also teaches us that we have to stand on what God says about us, because God said Job has integrity. Like, he shunned evil. Job was blameless. Job didn't do none of that stuff. But then when his friends started talking, it was just like he was a sinner and he was doing things. That's why he was going through what he was going through. But glory be to the Lamb of God that Job didn't stand in agreement with that. Like, y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. I didn't do nothing to go through what I'm going through, right? In Jesus Christ's name.